Have you ever fallen so deeply in love that the object of your affection seemed to transcend the boundaries of time and space, becoming something more than just a person? Something eternal, divine, almost sacred? What if I told you that the 13th century mystic poet Rumi believed that all earthly longing points toward something far greater than human love? That every whispered, "I miss you," is actually a cry to return to the source of all existence. Today, we unravel the mysteries hidden in the heart of one of the world's most beloved poets. Welcome to a journey through ecstasy, longing, and the transcendent love that lives in Rumi's words. Welcome to the unfolding journey. Here, we delve into the spiritual, the philosophical, and the poetic threads that tie us to something greater than ourselves. If you're someone who finds wisdom in the written word and beauty in the spaces between, you're in the right place. So let's begin today's exploration into the symbolism of the beloved in Rumi's poetry. Jalal al-Din Rumi, the 13th century Persian mystic, jurist, and theologian, is often regarded as one of the greatest spiritual poets of all time. His work overflows with metaphors, symbolism, and mystical allusions. Central to this vast poetic universe is the figure of the beloved, a presence that is at once intimately human and expansively divine. To the casual reader, the beloved in Rumi's poetry might seem like a romantic interest, a woman or a man of impossible beauty, a muse that stirs deep passion. But to those attuned to the spiritual resonance of his work, the beloved is far more than a lover. The beloved is God. The beloved is the divine. The beloved is the one. In Rumi's world, the longing for the beloved mirrors the soul's yearning to reunite with its source. Through layers of metaphor, the beloved becomes a symbol of the eternal mystery at the heart of existence. To understand why Rumi uses the beloved as a symbol for the divine, we need to understand the spiritual tradition he was part of. Sufism, the mystical branch of Islam. Sufis believe that the ultimate goal of human life is union with God. This union isn't a cold, intellectual agreement with doctrine. It's an experience of burning, passionate, all-consuming love. Sufi poets, like Rumi, use the language of human love because it is the most powerful language we have to describe that spiritual intimacy with the divine. In this framework, every metaphorical lover, every sigh, every dance of joy or anguish in Rumi's verses is not about a person, but about the soul's journey back to God. Consider one of Rumi's most famous lines. "The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing. How blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along." At first glance, it's a beautiful thought about soulmates. But at its core, it's a metaphysical declaration. The divine has always been within us. The search for the beloved is the search for God, hidden not in distant heavens, but within the chambers of our own heart. One of the key themes in Rumi's treatment of the beloved is the interplay of union and separation. This duality is at the heart of the human experience. We are born with an innate connection to the divine, but spend our lives feeling separated from it. In his poetry, this painful separation becomes the catalyst for ecstatic longing, and that longing becomes a form of worship. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. Here, the absence of the beloved is not a punishment, but a divine strategy to make the soul yearn for God more deeply. This is a recurring Sufi idea, that the pain of separation is actually the sign of nearness, because it sharpens desire and draws the soul back to its source. In Rumi's poetic universe, the beloved may appear and vanish. But this ebb and flow is not random. It's the rhythm of the spiritual life, like the beating of the heart. One of the most profound aspects of Rumi's poetry is his use of the beloved as a mirror, not just reflecting beauty, but reflecting the soul back to itself. Rumi often suggests that to truly see the beloved is to see your truest self. Why? Because the essence of the divine lives within you. In this way, the beloved is not just a symbol of God, but also a guide back to the self that is united with God. Here's an example from one of his ghazals. "You were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life?" This is a subtle but powerful reminder. You, the seeker, the lover, have divine origins. You belong not to the earth, but to the infinite. The beloved, then, is the one who reminds you of this truth. The love that awakens you to your divine essence is the purest form of spiritual awakening. No discussion of Rumi's beloved is complete without mentioning Shams of Tabriz, the wandering mystic whose arrival transformed Rumi's life and set his poetry ablaze. To Rumi, Shams was not merely a friend or teacher. He became the embodiment of the divine. Their relationship is one of the most passionately documented spiritual friendships in history. After Sham's sudden disappearance, Rumi's poetry became increasingly mystical and symbolic. Shams, once a person, evolved into a symbol for the beloved, for the divine light that both illuminates and vanishes. Why should I seek? I am the same as he. His essence speaks through me. I have been looking for myself. Rumi's grief for Shams catalyzed his most profound insights. The external loss awakened the inner presence of the divine. This transformation is why, in much of Rumi's later poetry, we can never quite tell if he's speaking of Shams, of God, or of the beloved. They become one and the same. Another key aspect of Rumi's symbol of the beloved is that it requires the lover, the self, to be completely undone. This is known in Sufi terminology as fana, or the annihilation of the ego. The beloved is so radiant, so divine, that one must let go of all ego, identity, and attachment to be united with it. Rumi writes, "Lose yourself completely. Return to the root of your own soul." In this sense, the beloved is not something to possess, but something to surrender to. To love the beloved is to give up your illusion of separateness. It is not the path of acquisition, but of dissolution. This is where Rumi's work is most radical. Unlike modern romantic love, which often emphasizes mutual satisfaction and identity, Rumi's love demands obliteration. The lover doesn't get to keep themselves, they become absorbed into the beloved, like a drop into the ocean. One of Rumi's most enlightening contributions is the way he moves beyond all literal interpretations of love. He repeatedly insists that the true beloved is not physical, not bound by gender, form, or flesh. In a deeply spiritual sense, the beloved cannot be described, only experienced. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing. How blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. This beloved is everywhere, in music, in silence, in pain, in ecstasy. The beloved is the one who reveals themselves through life itself. The more the seeker lets go of literalism, the more they see the beloved in all things. So what does this mean for us, modern readers navigating a world so different from Rumi's? It means that every moment of longing, every pang of love, every ache of separation is sacred. Rumi teaches us that behind every broken heart is a call from the divine, that our deepest feelings aren't weaknesses, they're signposts guiding us home. The beloved in Rumi's work is not merely a symbol, it is an invitation to see beyond appearances, to embrace longing, to lose the self in something infinite, to find God not in the heavens but in our own deepest yearning. Whether you are religious, spiritual, or simply human, Rumi's poetry reminds us that love is always more than what it appears to be, that beneath the surface of desire lies a sacred hunger for connection, with each other, with the world, and with the divine source that breathes through it all. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Rumi's poetry. If this journey into the soul stirred something in you, we invite you to keep walking with us. This is the unfolding journey.